Welcome to Rugby M. In the studio this week, we've got Jamie Jones-Buchanan, who's got a win! A winner this week.
Yes,
Lee Gilmore, former Great Britain national, and the skipper of the Leeds Rhinos, who's out injured at the moment, Callum Watkins. Let's start with you, Cal. Firstly, you two lovely gentlemen are modelling your very own testimonial shirts.
Yeah, very nice.
Are you excited? It's the first time you've seen them today. Looking good?
Yeah, really nice.
Very impressive.
As well.
29th of August, Wednesday night. Last year we did a testimonial game for Ryan Hall and Martin Gleeson. It went superb, 5,000 plus people turning up. Firstly, what a great spectacle.
It was awesome. I don't think we expected it either, did we? I think it was a Wednesday night.
Chance of 2,000.
And we thought there'd be about 2,000, and you've got to have a certain amount of stewards on and all that, and nearly 5,000 people turned up. But it was awesome because it was War at Roses as well. It went down a real gem. This is a little bit different. We've got a Legends game, which is really good anyway, because we've got some Leeds Rhinos Legends, and then the All-Star encompassing team, the rest of the world coming to play against them. So really looking forward to that matchup.
Cal, you've got some big names at retirement. Who's coming in? Give us a rundown of your team. Give us a few names.
Got some great players, fantastic players that obviously I've been at the club so long and been successful as well. So it's been big international players as well, the likes of Jamie Peacock, Adrian Morley.
JP,
And we've got the likes of Moz, Gareth Ellis as well, which is massive. And then obviously, you know, the guys that have been winning trophies in the past with Leeds, and the likes of Richie Mathers, Mark Calderwood, Leroy Rivette. I'm really excited with that, and obviously Chev and Big Keith as well, Big Keith Senior. So
Rob Burrow.
Rob as well. I mentioned so many names to list. So really excited.
I reckon those that do a job right now in Super League. That's a good team.
So,
That's a good side, isn't it?
It's a great side, and there's some great names. But who was your hero growing up?
Jason Robinson was a massive influence for me. He was so quick, so fast. Just wanted to play like him, really. So just based my game really through the junior setup, through him, really.
Gilly, it's a bit of redemption for you because you're representing Rugby League Cares, which is such an important organisation for Rugby League. But a lot of them players are coming from that nucleus of the Saints team that lost all those grand finals against Leeds. So there's a bit of a score to settle for you.
The base from scores to settle and a little bit of niggling, but that pack's looking pretty scary. I think it's really important we use footwork against those big boys.
Can you tell us your team? Can you give us some names for the fans who might want to come down to the game? Yeah,
Paul Wellens. I think I've got Dave Hodge and Eddie Gardner on the wings, Gleeson, Yeaman in the centres, who are both in real good nick. Yeamore played for Hull this year. I've got a choice of, I think, Spuggy or Danny Orr at 6. Longy at 7, and then I've got Radders, the King of Hull at prop, with Fecker, and I've got quite a few big middles in there. Then I've got John Clark, Robbie Paul, so plenty of big names. Mick Cassidy can get that flame ignited back from 1998 when he chalked him with the elbow, so it'd be
He's just thrown it out there a bus. You've just thrown Mick Cassidy under a bus right there.
Got to promote the game, haven't you, Finman?
It's exciting.
You've played in some amazing sides. St Helens, you played a side at Wigan, Bradford as well. When I obviously retire, I always talk about the Saints from about 06. Was an unbelievable team. Which was the best side that you played in? Is there any years that really stand out in your mind?
That 06 team really, or around that period of time. I just thought the football that we played. I mean, Bradford were big and strong and powerful, but I think the brand of football that we played at St Helens through that period of time, you know, we were quick and we were a good communicating team. I think, you know, a lot of these teams that play good football, you've got to be good communicators. Or even when you talk about the Leeds side, that successful Leeds side, it's just knowing each other, knowing how each other play, and just instinctively knowing, you know, what Ulster and those sort of things.
Does any one player stand out who you just think he was the number one? No,
it doesn't. It's ridiculous. I was so lucky to play, you know, like Callum's mentioned Jason Robinson. You know, I played with Jason at Wigan. He looked after me a little bit as a fellow Yorkshireman who were over in Wigan. You talk about Sculthorpe, Long, Cunningham, you know, Farrell at Wigan. There's just Gary Conley. When I went to Wigan, I went there and I signed as a centre. I'd played loose forward, back row most of my junior career, but I ended up playing rep football as a centre. So when I went to Wigan then and played reserve grades, I kind of idolised Gary Conley, who was my hero kind of within the system, you know, at Wigan. But then also I got in first grade and chopped and changed between centre and back row before I stayed in the pack.
Well, so looking forward to the game 29th. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. Big talking point this week. One of your fellow back rowers, like back rowers club with you two, John Bateman, announcing he's going over to play for Canberra in the NRL, but then he's coming back to be the marquee player for Wigan.
Awesome.
Which is a bit strange.
Got that sorted out, hasn't he? Got all that sorted out.
He's got a top agent. Whoever his agent is, give him a round of applause there. Top work.
How good's that back row going to be though with Bateman and
Whitehead, yeah.
Whitehead. Unbelievable. Would you think it was a bit strange, unusual or innovative from Wigan to sort of put that in front of John Bateman that far down the line, the 2 years after he comes back?
We've never heard anything like it before, have we? So I guess it's like an expectation of him. It is a big pressure for him to obviously build up as a massive player in the NRL and then obviously go back to Wigan as a marquee player. But he's got the talent, he's got the mentality as well. And I think, knowing him as a person, I think he'll do really well there and come back to Wigan a big star.
Callum, you're probably highest profile player at Leeds, obviously as captain and international centre. If you fancied, you know what, you, Sophie and boys wanted to go and try NRL, would you want to come and sign back at Leeds? Can you understand that from his point of view? So Leeds say, well, yeah, we need you back, and it's similar kind of thing that you would do yourself if it was Leeds, obviously, instead of Wigan.
Definitely. If it's going to help him progress his game even more than it has done, then you know, why not take that opportunity and to have an opportunity to come back as well, and obviously honour what he's been doing well at Wigan. Obviously, he loves the club. He loves the club, obviously, because he wants to go back there as well. So he wants to test himself in the NRL. I think he's expressed that for a bit now. So you know, good on him.
Gilly, do you wish you'd have gone over there and give it a try?
I think part of me did. At the time, I was happy to play internationals against them and test yourself that way. But I think seeing what's gone on and seeing how the players have improved, the guys that go out there seem to grow. I think we mentioned Elliot Whitehead earlier, and he's just grown into a fantastic player, and it's happened whilst he's been over there. So, but I think I did that utility tag for a little bit too long. So by the time I got to Saints and kind of nailed down that's playing in the same spot every week, you know, I was pretty settled, and you know, I loved my time there. So yeah, I just stayed there.
It's interesting you mention International Rugby League there, Gilly, because we recently caught up with Colin Clayweg, who owns Red Star Belgrade, which is a huge name in global sport, and he's hoping that the city, those ultras who support the football, will get on board in Rugby League. Let's go see him and see his thoughts on the greatest game in the world. What do you get if you cross an Australian, a Dutchman and a Serbian? Colin Clayweg. Colin, you're the man behind Red Star Belgrade, a famous, an iconic name in European sport, and you're bringing it into the rugby league world. Explain how you get an Australian from Perth running Red Star Belgrade.
Oh, all you do is you meet a lovely young Serbian lass and your life changes 10 years ago, mate. It's that simple. So thanks for the wrap. I mean, I'm not the only one bringing that club into the rugby league world. There's been some really good work by a few guys in Serbia. They started August 2006. So, you know, all kudos to Željko and Mark Pullen, who will be watching this when it gets up.
Man, we can't wait for our Serbian adventure at the end of the season.
Yes.
We thought our season was over. England versus New Zealand, Ellen Road, locally, 11th of November. We thought that's the last game we'd do, but no. Rugby AM, Wagataurus, Alex Simmons and the boys will be heading over to the Balkan Super League final.
That's it.
Hopefully with your team, Red Star Belgrade.
I bloody hope so. I'll be unhappy.
Ideally against the big local rivals. Tell us about some of your local rivals over there in Serbia.
Oh, look, we've got in Belgrade. There's two other clubs that are big with us. So they're Dorčel Spiders, who won, I think, 11 grand finals in a row.
11 in a row.
So they made St George's record of the most number of premierships in a row. And of course, we have Partizan Belgrade, which is the mortal enemy of Red Star fans. If you think derbies here, Leeds United, Manchester United, or Man United, Liverpool, City, etc., this is up with all of that. It's up with all of it.
I can't wait to come to Belgrade at the end of the year and experience it
Rugby M style and take Wagger, the legend, to Belgrade. But what we need, obviously, when we're out there, if we get lost, we lose you, we need a little bit of lingo. So, myself and Wagger, running around Serbia, how do we say, can I get a beer, please?
Daj mi pivo, molim vas. Daj mi pivo.
Daj mi pivo, molim vas.
Da.
Is that good?
It's good.
Daj mi
Beautiful.
pivo, molim vas. Daj mi pivo, molim vas. Right? What about, you are very, very beautiful. Just in case, not me, not Wagger, we're happily married men, but Ben Carney, who's coming with us, single guy. So we'll pass it on to, you are very beautiful, you have beautiful eyes. Would you like to hold my hand?
Okay, this is for my wife. Moja žena, ti si najlepša devojka na svetu.
Moja žena, ti si najlepša.
Najlepša
Najlepša
devojka
devojka
na svetu.
na svetu. Yeah, boys!
As you can tell, I'm now fluent in Serbian. Are you impressed with my Serbian,
Really
Johnson?
impressed, mate. Sat there with your blackcurrant and soda there on...
Blackcurrant and soda. Yeah, of course.
All sounds a little bit communist, doesn't it? It's very,
I like
very
it.
Russian, isn't it?
Well, I'm even more excited because in a couple of weeks we're going to the Ukraine. Ukraine! I can't wait. I'm really excited. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Let's take some pulling down then, boys.
We're going to Kharkov, to the place where Kharkov Rhinos play.
Right.
And it's the national team's home base, and they're playing Greece. And what I love about them, we featured the story a couple of weeks ago. The boys playing for Milford, they're Ukrainians, and they're going over there to watch their World Cup qualifier, and it's just going to be amazing. So excited. So yeah,
Exciting, that, isn't it?
yeah. It's good to see obviously different nations getting into international rugby. You played for Great Britain, which is on the way back. Were that some of your best memories in your career?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think just the history within the badge, obviously being a Great Britain line. When we were all kids, we all wanted to play at the top level. We watched Great Britain. I think the England thing probably started more through the funding with Sport in England to help the game out. So I'm really pleased to see that the heritage of the game come back and get the lines back on tour.
Whenever I listen to JP do one of his motivational talks, Jamie Peacock, for anybody out there who don't know JP's, he always finishes with a game against the Aussies when they beat the Aussies, playing for the Lions, Great Britain, and it's right up there with the best moment of his career. Would that be similar for you? Would playing for Great Britain be the highlight of your career?
Yeah, and I think, when we first got out there, the press, we'd not really seen that. They absolutely bashed us, and they put a picture of Rob Burrow next to Willie Mason, basically saying, this is what us guys are bringing over to Australia, and we don't stand a chance. And then obviously we went and dished them up in Sydney for the first time in 50 years, but we just couldn't get the job done. In the end, Longy went home, and I think we had too many different half-back pairings. I think we won that game at Sydney with Leon and Longy together, who played the club football together. So I think if we'd have carried that on through the rest of the series, it could have been a little bit different, but unfortunately was not to be.
Cal, are you excited because you all be right at the front of the queue to be a Great Britain Lion? So hopefully next year when we're going on the tour with Glory Days, whenever it gets announced, we are going on it with Glory Days. It's going to be a great trip, and hopefully you'll be there with your Great Britain badge on. Does that excite you as a player? Something you've never done? You've never beaten the Aussies either.
Yeah, that's the thing. As a kid, growing up, wanting to be a professional rugby league player, my dad used to take me to the Great Britain games. We used to play the Aussies in the Ashes series and New Zealand as well. So that's something that really excites me, and I'm really pleased that it's going to be happening next year. So be working so hard to get a shirt, definitely.
How confident are you when you next go against the Australians, having been that ankle tap away from potentially scoring and winning the World Cup? You must have taken a great deal of encouragement from that World Cup tour.
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I think all the boys enjoyed it, and it was 8 weeks. It was tough at times, but at the same time we enjoyed each other's company, and that made it kind of like a one club mentality, I think. Which helped the group in terms of their performances on the field, and the England players are getting better in their performances internationally as well, which helps. And when we're playing against the Aussies and when we're playing against New Zealand, we're competing as best as possible. And like you say, in that final, it was a crazy final. We conceded that try in that first half, and the second half was huge because we were quite on top. We just couldn't take our opportunities, and that ultimately cost us in the end. So yeah, it was a nice reminder of the ankle tap. I thought it was pretty clear away, and just got swiped. So it's,
if there's any player in the world I'd want that ball to get to, it'd be Callum Watkins. And so was it Dugan? Was it Dugan who was taking it?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to clap on you and applaud, but. Nearly there. Gilly, I wanted to ask you, as an observer now, somebody who's been on those tours, represented Great Britain and England, are you impressed where England are as a group, our international team, thinking about the Denver performance as well?
Yeah, really impressed. And you know, just what Callum said there, even from the outside looking in, you know, I'm outside looking in, and it looks like they've got that sort of club atmosphere around the boys, and I think that goes a long way. And I think, you know, when you go back to when we were playing or we were on those tours and you had so many players, I think, you know, there was talk about a fraction, and there was no fraction there, but when you get seven of one team and 7 of another, it's not as easy to bond together. So I think they've got a better blend. There's more international players at different clubs, I think, and they've been together for quite a long time now. And I think Wayne Bennett seems that's one of his stronger points as a coach, is he knows how to bring a group together. And you know, I hope they do great things, but they were fantastic.
I think it's helping massively with players going to the NRL as well. There's a number of players that are going there. I think it is helping things, yeah, because they know the environment there, of how the Aussies work, and they can bring that experience into the boys and help out. And I think the more we play, the important thing is the more we play them, the better we'll get, and you know, at some point we'll get a victory, and it should be good.
To finish this part, it's been a great half. We're going to go catch up with a real legend, Paul Newlove. You do love Newey?
I was just really shocked when I asked him to play in the Warwick Roses at Cast this year. You know, he had no problem like that. Like, he was like, £500,000 back in there. He was like a footballer, wasn't he? Yeah. When he moved. You played in Newlove, wouldn't you? A few times.
Yeah, a few times.
What was he like to play at his pinnacle, at his best? What was he like?
Just his footwork. His footwork for such a big guy. We're about 16 and a half stone, Newey. Yeah. So the footwork and pace he had, and the power around his hips were just ridiculous. So.
Did you ever arm wrestle him? He was famous for being world's strongest arm wrestler.
Yeah, no. I've seen his forearms, yeah. Come on, mate.
Did you ever see it happen though? Did you ever see him?
Yeah, I've seen him do a few arm wrestles, yeah. Yeah, it's all technique that though, isn't it? It's all technique, not strength.
Right, let's go back to the 1995 World Cup for Memory Lane with Paul Newlove. We'll see you in part 2, right here, Free Sports for More, Rugby AM.
I'm Paul Newlove. This is my memory lane of the first World Cup game in 1995 against Australia.
World Cup favourites 4-1 on Australia had been beaten, and England playing what I would think a tactically superb game emerged rightfully as the winners.
I was one of the top try scorers at the time, and I was playing at Bradford at the time, and everything was going well, very well. And like I say, I was one of the first choice centres. It's always nervous when you're playing any game, especially internationals, but to play against Australia at the Wembley, the old Wembley, it's a special event. And we knew that it was going to be a tough game. It was a great team. You're talking about Andy Farrell, one of the best players in our country at the time. Jason Robertson, exciting attacking player. You know, defences hated playing against him. And Sean Edwards is another one. Good organiser, try scorer. Again, I would say one of the best scrum halves that Great Britain's produced. We were up for it that year, you know, with the clientele what we had in the in this team. We was going to either get to the final and win it. That's what we were talking about. Standing in the Wembley Tunnel, it's just a great feeling because you can't see the crowd. You can hear the noise, but you're below the pitch level, so you had to walk up a little bit of an incline, and then it levelled out, and then you came out into the stadium, and that's when you could hear the noise, and you see the Coca-Cola signs at the far side, and when you looked around, then you could see the supporters and the flags and the cheering. But you get one or two comments or shouts at the back, and you know, to come on, this is it, you know, rev it up type of thing, you know, and it all adds to the experience and to the atmosphere. I never sung the national anthem. I stood and just took it all in, you know what I mean? That's maybe I never sung it, so I can't say I did sing it, but in my head I was going through it. But I used to see if I could see anybody in the crowd, or you know, and just took the atmosphere in. It was great. Steve Mendes scored the first try for the Aussies and put him in the lead, and it was 6-0 until 5 minutes before the end of the first half, and we put a bomb up, and Brasher he knocked it on, he bombed it, and we got a scrum down in the Australian half, and Andy Farrell picked up the ball from the base of the scrum, and Sean Edwards peeled off to the left and created the overlap, and he gave the little dummy, did Andy Farrell, and I thought he should have passed it, but when he scored the try, I think he made the right decision, you know. But he took a couple of players over with him, so he did well to get the ball down. Chris Joynt and Mark Coyne, they both scored a try apiece, and they brought the scores back. And then we were on the attack, and I think it was Lee Jackson. He kicked the ball from acting half, and it was nothing of a kick into the right-hand side of the pitch, but the chase from himself and BJ that created the try for Jason Robinson. The hit on the ball from BJ as the winger brought the ball back, it was a tremendous hit. He hit him just right, and the ball slipped out, went on the floor, and Jason Robinson picked it up and went into the corner. Robbo was very quick. From a standing start, he was like lightning, and you know, he could sidestep off both feet. He didn't know which way he was going to go, but I think his original position is a scrum half, but he made his name playing on the wings. Australia were attacking, and I could see they were coming over to my side, and Dimmock, I think it was Dimmock, he took the ball in and he got half tackled, and I knew he was going to offload it, and I think it was Brasher, and I just got between Brasher and Dimmock, and he passed it, and I had long enough arms just to collect it and bring it down, and then I was off then. And you know, I still had a lot of work to do, because the fullback was coming across really quick and fast, and I had enough strength to fend him off. I got him on a lovely fend, and he just went down to the floor, and then I was over the line. Then I knew I did it.
England assistant coach Andy Goodway, Robinson's try was a reward for application, really, wasn't it?
Intercepted here now, then Brasher coming in just, and he slugs it off. Oh, and a superb effort by Paul Newland. He plucked the ball out of nowhere. He may weigh 15 stone plus, but this boy has pace from Bradford.
To score against Australia, you know, you're on the BBC, you know, first game of the World Cup challenge, so it was one of the best tries I've scored, definitely. When Steve Mendes scored, you know, to score closer back, there was still time for Australia to win the game, and they've done it in the past as well. You know, they play to the last minute. So there again, you're on the edge, you know, your concentration, you had to make your first tackles, you know, the game wasn't over. Don't matter how many minutes is left, the game's not over until the whistle goes. When the Uta went, it was just a matter of, you know, a big relief. It's a big weight when you can just stop concentrating, let your guard down, and then you can pat each other on the back. But I can remember Dennis Best saying that to calm us all down, because you know, some of us was really happy to win, and Dennis was saying we haven't won anything yet, so just you know, just calm it down. We ended up meeting Australia back in the final, and you know, we were confident going into the final because of the victory in the first round, and maybe that was downfall. We just thought that because we had a good tournament, and we met them in the final, and we came off second best in the final. You know, winning Australia, you don't win them that often, and to beat them on home soil, it was a tremendous win, and we played well that day. Definitely, all the lads played, you know, dug in and played really well. I'm Paul Newlove, and that was my memory lane.